first rays of the morning sun reflect off the waves of the Simmersoul Sea, and they're throwing dappled shadows over Torlin's Glade. Frostglade is there, kneeling, with his battle gear hanging off of bandoliers. The great blood-red bow is in his hands, and his huge scrap sword is leaning against a boulder nearby. His eyes are closed, and he's rumbling to himself.
Kurnoth, Lord of the Hunt, Alariel, our ever-queen. I have forsaken your gifts, and I have failed. But today, and until my death, I do your will.
His eyes open, and the light behind them blazes.
I ask you to watch over us, strengthen us in body, mind, and spirit, as we face the forces of chaos, whatever form they may take.
He stands, turns, and leaves, grasping the scrap sword, heaving it over his shoulder as he moves. He fails to notice that in each of his footsteps the grasses writhe and grow slightly, as if suddenly awakened. Meanwhile, elsewhere, on Torland, Nico?
Okri is sitting in his quarters, mostly ruminating on the last little adventures he had, specifically the last one, tinkering away, trying to get lost in the clockwork and the ethermatics, and just kind of trying to blank his mind as much as possible and just doing his thing. When suddenly,
I can't make it loud enough. There's a 3 knock on his door.
Mm-hmm.
Who is it?
Yeah.
It is time.
It's time for what?
For you to repay your debt.
Also,
please open the door.
Just open the door, stare up. Really? We're doing this now?
Yes. You're not ready.
I'm Frostglade looks at you. You're in your night clothes, and there's just shit all over the room. Yeah.
Oh, God, all right. Give me 1 second.
I thought we talked about this. Jeez.
All right. Hold on to your horses, whatever you ride. I'll give you 1 moment and start getting ready.
Ride those.
It's going to take me 5 minutes. All right, go get the others.
Frostglade turns and leaves. Do you guys want to be found, Cass and Phallus, or do you want to meet us down at the new boat? Which I'm going to need Phallus to describe that thing for sure.
Yeah, I would assume that Phallus is at the new boat, probably managing and such.
We'll meet you at the dock. I think that makes the most sense.
Okay, rad. So Frostglade turns to he doesn't turn to leave. He just crosses his arms and waits in the open door.
Okri's just trying to get one of his legs through, his pant legs through, and
Exactly.
just like hopping around.
It gets
a little bit of privacy, please.
It gets stuck at the knee, like, oh, God. All right, just kind of turn around, like, I'll meet you at the docks.
Polka dot underwear underneath there.
Heart boxers. Yeah, I know.
Right.
I get ready. I get everything done. I'm like, all right, well, where are we going exactly?
I can't believe you don't know this, but that's fine.
You're going north and east to the area of the sea where I believe your kin are doing great harm. Grimwrought.
I just stop buckling like a belt and just... Right, that thing. All right. God. But so I get ready and frantically get ready, pack my stuff as I can in a bag. Let's just go.
Nice. Okay,
And,
as we
meet you out at the docks.
Okay, great. As I or we walk up, what are Cass and Phallus up to?
Probably securing the rigging. I assume that we're kind of like getting ready to make way.
Yeah, Phallus is just kind of like just checking everything, making sure they're all good. Doing the thing that you're supposed to do before you get in your car. Go around your car, do the inspection, kick the tire a few times. That everybody does before they drive every single time.
Aw, so is Phallus like? So he's got his new car basically. So he's just like really like kind of getting into it and making sure
polishing
it's properly taken care
Yeah,
of.
he spits on it
adorable.
and shines it with the edge of his cuff. I imagine that like Cass is there like maybe pulling on a rope, and she's like asking like, oh, what?
It's attached to the pier, but okay.
Well, ships do have ropes that attach to other things on the pier.
True.
but yeah, she's just pulling on a rope to no avail. I just imagine she's like, what do you call this thing then? And Phallus would like proceed
That's
to
the rigging.
What about this thing that is attached to?
That is also the rigging.
Oh, well, what part of the ship ain't the rigging?
Oh, the sail, the mast, the deck.
Just listing off all the rudder.
Okay, and we run.
Before the list gets too long.
Walks forward and is just looks at Cass and nods, and looks at Phallus and nods.
Thank you for this. Are we ready to go?
You've been a bit coy about this whole thing, Frostglade. What precisely are we meant to do over yonder?
I'll tell you on the way.
Flash cut to battle. Oh God, what's happening?
That's a good transition. Well, I'll tell you on the way.
Is there anything else? This is where the pop-up comes, and
Are you sure you want to fast travel?
There's one
Are you
thing.
sure you want? Okay.
I want a rope. I realize I don't have rope on me, and how the fuck am I supposed to use a lasso if I don't have rope?
Well, apparently there's a lot of rigging you could use.
So I'll either buy rope or collect some and put it into my inventory, whichever one you think is more appropriate.
Sure. Well, I wanted to rush through things, but I think we need to do a scene at the rope store.
No,
Sorry, Isaac.
Dave, we don't need to do a scene at the rope store.
Yeah.
We got some silk rope here and some hemp rope.
If we do the scene, Dave, Isaac is going to have a conniption fit. He's going to, blood vessels are going to burst. He's not going to be
drive
happy.
to you and beat you up.
So yeah, I am also sort of curious. Just that the night before,
About the rope store.
Frostglade did basically pull you three together and gave you some very rough details that he sensed Dwarden machines, he sensed fire and pain. He fears that the Dwarden there are doing something that cannot be undone, his words are kind of failing to describe the feelings that you guys are feeling through the binding, and he asks us all to leave at first light. He also put a sphere of Akogoranus on the table between us and just basically said, this is yours to spend if it helps in any way, so feel free to do with that as you will.
I mean, Phallus would push it back, and it's just like, you don't have to do this, Frosty.
Oh, great.
I'm more than happy to help you.
And Nico is disappointed, I bet.
I mean, I would have taken it.
You have my sword, and my bow, and my whip, and my other bow.
Okay. Well, anyway, if you guys spent that, great, and if not, I'll just pop it right back on my sheet.
All right. Okay. So, do I get rope or not? Is my concern.
All right. Well, we'll do. Yeah, we'll do a separate episode at the rope store.
Okay,
that's okay.
I'm adding rope to my inventory.
It's in my DM notes. Rope store.
Should I write this down?
Yeah.
Okay.
David, what length is the rope?
Oh my god!
They have
Wait, no, this is important because we care about height
it can
here.
be. It really can be
It's a
important.
height-based podcast.
They have a spool. They can cut it to length, and they actually charge. It's like a Costco kind of situation.
Oh, cool.
Jesus, Dave, he just asked about the length. He didn't ask you to explain how it was sold.
It should say in the profiles.
Okay,
for the rope. It's
I
in
should
the description.
actually-
You can
yeah,
go
I'll
ahead
pull that
and
up.
add it to your list.
All right.
Now the pop-up comes again. Is there anything else you want to do before we leave? You may not be able to return.
Oh, we should probably have told people what we were up to. The bosses. Yep.
Okay.
I'm sure the bosses would know, right?
Yeah, you have to fill in a form before you can take the lead boat and go.
The only other thing I can say is I prep a few what are they called, vials of drops, because we haven't been doing that, and I feel it's important for everyone to know that we have pre-made vials.
I like
and
that,
we're not using little pipettes and measuring
In the middle of
amount
battle.
drops in the middle of battle.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Okay, so then if I think that's great. If you'll all just need to specify that on your character
I
sheets.
prepped
Yeah.
4 vials.
Cool. Just on your character sheets.
I'm gonna go with 5 just because I got a penchant for taking damage.
Can we set Maris to watch Bort with great care? But also, can we set Bort to watch Maris with great care while we're away? Because I don't trust either of those people anymore.
Are they both just staring at each other?
I think as you're on the docks, Trenton kind of like watches you four leave. Is like, oh, you're leaving those two, and everyone else is going. Okay, and you head off to the horizon.
Have fun, Trenton.
Good luck.
Yeah. He kind of looks down at his arm and kind of back over at you guys. A lone ship skims east against a rippling pink sea as the light of Heish begins to peek across the realm. Aboard the ship, a resolute warrior, a deadly corsair, a watchful gunslinger, and the brass-armored exile. You sail eastward as dawn's light crests and shines down upon your faces. It's an oddly quiet journey, and on your way there, you pass by monuments to your previous escapades, a tamed volcano, the ruined pillars of a former Skaven stronghold, and finally, as you leave these all behind, you pass by the Isle of the White King, Gorion, and you swear you feel a cold chill pass down your spine, although it's gone as soon as you see it. And, you have a few moments before you're going to arrive. Is there anything you guys want to talk about, or anything?
Can we make sure that this time around that I'm not just roughed up beyond all means of interpretation? I feel like I've taken the brunt force of our fights in the past.
I will stay near to you and protect you if I can.
All right, and in all seriousness, I hope that we do not have to fight anything. Perhaps we can take a more diplomatic approach to this encounter.
I'll be frank with you, Cassilas. I don't think that's worked out very well for us in the past. I think, if anything, we'll let Mr. Okri decide, and we follow his lead.
Yeah, Frostglade just looks at Okri slowly and deliberately. Yep, that's the face, Okri. No one can see it, but
just
it's
unhappy.
the grimace emoji.
Just
Yeah, Mr. Okri hasn't led us wrong in the past.
well,
I don't know.
Well,
even I'm like, I don't know. Quite frankly, fellas, tree, I don't know exactly what'll happen there. I sure hope it's if it is Grimwrought's crew. I don't know. I have no idea what'll happen.
Well, you just say the word, Mr. Okri, and I'll start blasting.
More encouraging words have never been spoken.
Thank you. I hope most of us make it alive.
This is actually a good opportunity for Frostglade to tell us in more detail exactly what he expects us to be doing.
Yeah, he's supposed to tell us along
What's
the way.
the expectations here?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Okri, you son of a bitch. So Frostglade, he closes his eyes and rumbles for a good long time.
I just asked him what we were doing. He just started doing this. I don't know what to do at this point.
Hours pass and we arrive. Dave, what happens? Frostglade would say,
I might not have the information or the certainty that you want. What I know is that Grimwrought is here, and I know that the Dwarden, him or others, are doing something to nature.
No, not nature.
Yes, nature.
that's a really poor way of putting that, but whatevs, man.
I worry that there could be a realm root here. Something that is...
And he stops and pauses. And again, you get the sense that, words are not going to express what Frostglade feels about this. But through the bond, you feel just incredible intensity and effectively, if there's a feeling of veneration, that's what you get through the bond.
Very important to my people, and ultimately to all of us, if we wish to succeed against the forces of chaos.
Well, if it's that important to you, then all right, I'm here for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, whatever.
Ditto
Are you?
my brother.
I hope that the debt I owe your people will at least be repaid here. Bar anything else that might happen, at least we're square, right?
Frostglade wouldn't necessarily speak. He would just look you in the eyes and then look slowly back out over the waters.
All right, let's get onto that island.
Yeah. So Frostglade, as the tension is palpable behind you, you're staring off ahead. I imagine Phallus is probably as well. After a few moments,
Frosty, could you move over a little bit? I can't see.
Yeah, you're both like standing knee up on the prow, right next to each other, watching the horizon. Yeah, so like the sky is bright pink. The clouds are rippling across, and at this point you see it in the distance. You notice first these viscous green clouds that kind of form a pillar, almost going up into the sky. And you see first silhouettes of dark ships amongst those fumes, and they're hovering above you. Your eyes pan down, and you see this atoll in the ocean. So basically a ring-like.
Oh man, I didn't bring any extra money. I don't know how to pay for this.
I'm glad Franco's here to pick up the slack.
You guys all fucking groan.
Let's not interrupt Dave. He hasn't spoken much.
Fuck. Okay, hang on.
All right, go back to the beginning.
Reorient myself
now
for a
I
second.
feel bad.
To be fair, Dave,
You should.
To be fair, Dave, you should know better than to use words that aren't very standard, because we will key off of those.
Yeah. So there's a ring of a coral reef, which is also known as an atoll.
Huh?
And there's an island. Fuck. There's an island in the very center. And Frostglade, you notice it immediately as being a glade. And what you notice that is unique about this is it's actually made up of a series of almost these iridescent sea anemones. Anyone have any jokes about anemones?
No, you said it just beautifully.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, you said it right. Right off the go.
Okay.
Yeah. Stuck the landing.
They're rippling back and forth. They're pulsing a little bit. They have those like kind of thick finger-like kind of things waving back and forth. There's a whole forest of this in the center, and then remarkably, you notice around this, because as it is being in the center of this like pillar of green viscous smoke, you notice that there is almost like this sphere of light surrounding it, and it appears actually do a mind awareness if anyone cares to do a 4-2.
Oh, I always forget to take out my dice.
4 successes.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yep.
I'm not even gonna roll. I mean, he's got 4
that's
successes.
fair.
He's gonna see whatever this is, and he's gonna tell us, right?
I got 4 successes as well.
I keep it a secret.
Okay.
So
You know
do
what?
I.
Given the areas of expertise, I will give you different information based on those rolls. So Frostglade, you actually managed to spot, within this this orb of light, you can tell that these toxins are kind of coming up against the sphere and you're trying to erode it, and you can tell that this is a magical aura that's being formed around it, and you can tell there's this back and forth sort of like ebbing and flowing of the toxins eating away at the sphere. The sphere regains ground and tries to push it back out. So you can tell that there's some magical energies coming from inside trying to maintain this barrier. Okri,
Yes.
with your check, you flip on your goggles.
Yes.
It allow you to see through things
Yes.
and the magical energies and whatnot. And you see the same kind of idea, like you see like this magical energy in the center, kind of like billowing out. You don't see much energy, like any magic other than that, but you do see the aether vein that is stored inside the engines of the various Argonaut vessels that are high up in the sky. You notice there is one ironclad of particular size and potency. That is the Acclimate Proclamation, which you know to be Grimwrough's flagship.
Oh boy.
You notice there's also 2 frigates and 2 gun haulers. And then as you're looking through, those are all in the sky around kind of above this pillar of smog. And then on the ground, you actually notice, your eyes catch what appears to almost be like this sort of refinery that has been built atop a sea stack at the south edge of the atoll. So you can see there is a small landing platform with a pair of gun haulers on it, catwalks leading up to a refinery, and you see kind of a sloped walkway going down onto the coral reef itself.
Right, okay.
You're still a ways away from your ship.
I'm going to be very sad if we lose this boat.
Frostglade, Okri, I feel as if perhaps we should not approach from the front in this case. I feel like maybe the 4 of us are not adequate for this kind of job. I don't know if any of you's ever fought an army 1v100, but generally doesn't go too well. Perhaps we slip in behind unnoticed, or...
Frostglade turns to Okri and says...
Okri, is there some way we can speak with them?
Actually, I'm going to ask Dave a question. From my knowings on about the crew and Grimwrought and the whole vibe that they have regarding vis-a-vis me, is that an option, or am I essentially just clapped in irons the moment I show up? From knowing, Kharadron culture and such.
So I'll tell you what you know, you know that you struck a deal when you were given leave to basically... after the events of Crash and Burn, and you were rescued and then freed. The idea was, we're not going to, take you in and potentially, I don't know, put you in irons for the rest of your days or whatever. But you need to, leave, and this is our rightful property.
Yeah, it was. We struck a bargain, which was, you're safe now, and we get this.
Yeah. Now, if you were to, say, trespass, or you were to, be seen, working with an opposing force or something like that, you can imagine that, the leniency from before would probably escalate.
Yeah. Okay.
I have a question.
I'm going to relate that to the crew.
So glad we brought you along.
Yeah, me too.
Does Okri's armor have anything significant on it that would identify it as Okri? Would other dwarves know this is Okri? Or would they just know this is a Kharadron, and then they'd ask him his name, and he could potentially lie about it?
Hey. I would say that I scrubbed the colors, whatever colors on my armor, I scrubbed off, and now it's just bare brass and metal. So
your thing's also a bit of a Frankenstein stuff now, right? Because you combine
actually, it is
two
a bit
sets.
more Frankenstein. Yeah, because I do have an extra set from. I did salvage stuff from the warp derrick.
So now it looks more
it's
like
kind
a
of a
redneck
mishmash.
Kharadron.
It's just
okay. So
hard
he's suspicious
times.
at best.
Okay.
Yeah, it would invite questions at best, and like you said, look suspicious at worst.
So we can't pull a Star Wars and have you bring the Wookiee in cups.
No, I don't think we can pull a Star Wars on this one.
Is there any way we can signal your people that you know of, Okri?
What do you mean exactly?
You
You can signal the captain that I'm here and give me up. You could do that, I guess.
We've brought Okri.
What are the logistics of actually getting in touch with these ships that are floating in the sky? That's what I'm wondering.
The ships belong to Grimwrought.
Yeah.
So I would assume that they all have an idea of hey, watch out for these Storm's Mandate people. I assume.
I think Isaac's asking how we might contact them. Do they have radios or something equivalent?
Yeah.
Signal flare, flags.
So we'd literally be waving our arms and hoping that they don't just shoot first?
It'd be like flares, and they do have loudspeakers.
Okay.
Oh, they do. Nice.
Yeah, they do.
So advanced.
We could do a reverse Star Wars and pretend we're taking Okri in.
I mean, at this point, I'll try anything. I'm okay with that.
Like, what's going to happen if we approach the actual atoll and try to, contact what I'm assuming are Sylvaneth in there, trying to protect themselves and their rightful home. What's likely to happen if we approach? They've probably noticed us if we've noticed them too. I would assume we're a ship out in the ocean and they're like up in the sky.
They're much bigger than we are. And I don't know, like, if you would spend a lot of time staring out in the ocean. I mean, maybe you'll have one person dedicated to staring out at every part of the ocean.
I think that's called the lookout. But yeah.
I'm starting to think about this. I think that our best choice is to. Oh man, this is good. This is like some movie shit. We got to sneak on in and make contact.
Stealth boat row
with the rebel Sylvaneth on the island.
I honestly think the best course of action is to beeline for the Sylvaneth and try to help them. Yeah, because then we can fight an army with an army.
A lot of this discussion probably isn't happening, but I'm really happy to hear you guys out of game say that, because you guys noticed that once Frostglade has sort of pieced together the puzzle of what's happening here, he's like scanning the waves and like maybe even thinking about how to swim alone the rest of the way. He turns on Okri, says what he said before. I can't even remember what it was, and now he's like,
"We have to get to whoever is trying to defend themselves against Grimwrought as quickly as we can."
No, absolutely. It seems like the gas is trying to get into the vault. This vault. Do you breathe air? Can you swim? Can you breathe underwater?
We could lay anchor. We could lay anchor right here and take a dinghy out.
True.
They'll be harder to spot.
Smaller.
Less conspicuous.
Hey.
So the question I would have is there a way to approach the island that would hide us from line of sight and arrive at a different location? I think this may be a check for fallacy.
Intuition?
Yeah. Some sailing stuff.
Yeah, some smuggling checks.
Smuggle checks?
Yeah, so you can do an intuition mind. Let's do a 5-1.
Okay.
Just roll well. That's easy.
Can you hear the 2 dice?
Oh, wait, before you roll, there's 4 of us on the ship. Is there any way for us to, assist him in this? Because, we're all trying to figure this out. It's not
if
just
we're
him.
brainstorming, I could probably add 1 more unless anyone actually has training in intuition.
Intuition. I have training in intuition.
Boom!
You have 1 training?
Cool.
I have exactly 1 training. This
okay,
is,
that's 4 dice for me then.
Cool, do it up.
This is why you...
but you got to describe how you're going to help in order to do that.
Yeah, we put our heads together in the huddle.
Yeah, and I think we look at the landscape and we determine kind of like what sort of features it has and like the line of sight that might be from like any of the airships.
Sure.
And like
we
maybe
put
even like
backs to the sun, so it's harder to spot,
Yeah, exactly.
Because there's a lot of reflection off the waters. In
and
that
maybe
case.
the clouds themselves are actually going to create blind spots for the ships in the air.
Exactly.
Wow. There you go. I've got
what'd you get?
1 success.
Oh, wow. Okay, so it's a good thing you got that help. Okay, so just to kind of lay this out, you can imagine there's the big ring of coral that kind of aligns this whole thing is going to make your ship unable to cross into it. The lagoon in the inside is going to be more shallow, probably to the point of like 10 to 15 feet, maybe even a little deeper in places you can't quite tell. And like it slopes up to the sandy beach in the very center, in which point this kind of ocean forest kind of situation kind of like gets thicker and thicker into the glade. You notice that on the southern edge, like I'd mentioned before, there is that Kharadron refiner that's spewing out all these chemicals. And you can tell, like, if you were to basically approach... so this entire area right now is going to have some... it's going to be difficult to see in here. I want to make sure I'm going to use the right term. 1 second. Going to be partial cover throughout this entire area. So you're going to have advantage on opposed checks to be spotted. Your hunch tells you if you're to approach from, like, the southern half, the odds of you being spotted... are going to go up significantly based on, how high the Kharadron ships are up in the air and the thickness of the clouds and everything. If they would have seen you, they would have seen you already. And then, like, if you want to, kind of moor your ship and go off and try and cross, like, you can get some like better sticks on that. In terms of like a specific approach, I would say, like I think that's great. Like what Isaac was saying, like the cloud coverage here being like occasionally thicker. So go you with that in mind, you could try and approach, and you could get advantage on stealth tests.
As this plan starts to take shape, and Frostglade is only pointing out, like, for him, what are the obvious, which is basically just the cloud cover. He's actually just really eager to support whatever you guys come with, and he is visibly antsy to get on with this. So I'll support whatever you guys are good with.
Cool.
Yeah, I think we got a plan.
Real quick, just can I infer how many crewmen and Kharadron would be in the area by looking at an ironclad, 2 frigates, and 2 gun haulers?
You totally can. Max capacity,
Yep.
Okri, you know that an ironclad carries 8, frigates carry 6, gun haulers carry 2.
Oh, so gun haulers are quite compact airships. Neat.
You can kind of imagine them like beefy biplanes.
Neat.
Or TIE fighters, yeah.
That's not the hundreds that I thought there would be.
Yeah,
so.
I definitely thought a frigate was gonna have more than 8 people. That was like 16 at least.
Well, so that's the crew. That's the crew.
That's the minimum. Like,
that's the minimum.
That's the minimum. Okay.
That's like the
I thought you said there was
active
the
crew
max
to operate
capacity.
the ship. They could be carrying more people.
So you said
on board,
frigate was 6, so there's 12.
Frigate, yeah. So 6 on the frigates, 8 on the ironclad, and then 2 per gun hauler.
So at least 24 Kharadron.
Yeah, a score plus of dangerous.
I'm mathing this out. I don't see a problem with approaching from the front. Let's just go. Let's start firing.
Fair enough, yeah.
No, that's a bad idea.
We're all ranged. It's cool.
Regardless of what Dave said, we can't take the main boat, so we'll lay anchor, and then we'll
In the
take
middle of the sea? Oh, we have to find a place to maybe like a tall rock to hide our ship behind.
A smuggler's rock?
Is there a smuggler's rock, Dave?
So you don't see anything that'll like completely obscure, but you do notice that there's kind of this this single like rock with like, it's like that classic deserted island thing where you have like the single palm tree on like a big rock, and you can moor to that. It's a ways away, and you can make your way over, but it's not going to fully obscure your ship. All right, you're all on the dinghy.
I'll man the oars.
Silas can help.
He puts his arms in the water.
Frostglade, no, you got to be in the center of the boat, sweetie.
We're driving.
You can't be on the side.
That's okay. I'm at the front. He's at the back.
Yeah.
Equalizing.
The front is like up in the air.
Exactly.
I'm picturing this giant inflatable like crocodile boat or something. What's the shape of the dinghy in?
I'd say it's just a classic, like the Pentagon shape, you know.
Pentagon shape?
Like it's like it's got a flat back and pointed.
Oh, okay,
bow.
like an elongated. Okay, like a long pentagon.
Everyone into the
not
Pentagon.
an equal shaped pentagon.
Like, what is this? Like a fucking a tubing? Are we going tubing?
It moves in 5 directions.
See, not all the sides have to be equal.
All right, let's keep moving. You're rowing the Pentagon across the ocean waves. It's squat and wide, but you make your way there. You're approaching the shoals. What do you do?
Attempt to navigate over or just around or through a shallow part of the shoals so that we don't destroy the ship, the boat, the dinghy.
Sure. Do you all want to do a team stealth
Yes, we do.
check?
Team stealth.
Team stealth.
Team stealth.
It's worth noting that this dinghy does have a minigun mounted to it.
Nice. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Like an old-timey Western one?
Yeah.
What are the successes?
It would be on 4s. It's going to be opposed. You're going to have advantage because of the checks and stuff you did before. So it goes down to 3s.
Okay.
So
And is it body?
it is. I think actually in this case, let's do mind because you're kind of.
No, I've got a really good joke to make.
Mind.
It's Bodhi.
Okay.
Boaty. Mine.
Nice.
I mean, I screwed it up. That well.
Nice.
Mine Boaty.
2 successes.
3 successes.
What was he?
1.
What are we looking for? 3s?
Yep.
5, 6,
No, 4s. 4s are better.
3s.
You're looking for 3s because you have
Advantage.
advantage.
Oh,
all right,
that doesn't matter to me.
3 success then.
Nice, 9 in total.
Nice.
Okay. All right, so you make your way to the edge of the coral. You step out and you kind of need to.
The whole time I've been holding it back.
Coral.
Let us get it out of our system real quick. Coral. All right, let's go.
Okay, all right. Good. You pick up the octagon or the pentagon to lift it over the coral reef.
It's getting more sides as we speak.
It's multiplying. The mortal realms are a strange place. And you manage to guide it over the top of the coral and get to the other side. You notice the water in here is, like pretty salty. It's kind of like the sort of situation where, I mean, you all know what atolls are clearly, so I don't need to describe it. But you make it to the other side.
So as we climb back in, and Frostglade's looking for speed here, but he does want to give a quick thought to, were I a Sylvaneth on an atoll out in the middle of the ocean of a possibly a holy place, what sorts of critters would I have defending the inner ring of my my place?
Cool. Do a nature mind.
Not the best of rolls. Or is it? One.
Fours.
Thanks for asking. Just one. One success.
Okay. I think you're not very familiar with oceanic Sylvaneth. I think this is like a kind of a different subculture than you'd be familiar with.
Kind of a harsh assumption, but okay.
Yeah. But yeah, you're not really sure. And as you're thinking that, I want everybody to make an athletics body check.
Dang.
Dodge.
What's the parameters here?
On fours.
1 success.
2.
Oh, 3. I thought it was 4, but it's 3.
2 success.
Okay, so Okri got a 1.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So as you're beginning to make this little journey across, all of you feel as if you just hit a giant rock, and the boat, like you're kind of going like as fast as you can, and then all that pressure just comes to a sudden halt. The three of you jerk violently in your seats.
No, it's not funny. Continue, Dave.
Couldn't get
God
through
damn
that
it.
sentence himself. That's a different kind of imagery.
Guys, I've got a bad feeling about this.
The spray of the ocean water.
The salty spray.
Across.
No, stop it. Damn it.
no.
Everyone mute yourselves but Dave. He can do this.
Okri.
Yes.
In a flash, you're underwater.
No!
You feel yourself falling, and as you open your eyes and you try and get a sense of everything, you see this face staring back at you. It is hewn from coral with these two iridescent eyes. Its jaws like grimace in a harsh snarl, and it reaches out and grabs you. One with giant grasping talons reaching around your entire body. Encompassing you entirely. You fit right into the palm of its hand, and it begins to stand. And you notice it breaks the surface of the water, and the rest of you can now see it. It stands, easily 30 feet. It comes up to its thighs in the water and looks down at you. Okri, it's holding you in its hands. Frostglade, you notice this is a tree lord.
Holy shit!
Nice.
It looks like it is made from coral. Its body is this like bone color, and as it gets down towards its extremities, becomes this more like deep purple. Its head is this like light blue that kind of tints and kind of flows, and it regards the rest of the passengers for a moment before looking back at Okri, who's in his grasp.
Frostglade is, I'm sure we're all about to act, but Frostglade in particular, I just want to make sure that he's stepping forward and holding his hands up in a gesture of not aggression, and he's going to be speaking loudly if he gets the opportunity.
Sure. Seeing you, it pauses for a moment. Okri, you feel pressure around all your plates as it begins to squeeze.
Yet more metal men with hearts long rusted, caught in my trap again. What brings you down here?
My lord, I am Frostglade of the Heartwood. That Dwarden you hold is not your enemy. Please do not destroy him. Why have you come here? We have come to help you, my friends.
And he gestures at Cass and Phallus, and then lastly at Okri.
Are here to help you.
You notice that as you all kind of enter this glade, so as you're in here, these fumes are actually starting to kind of like wick across your skin. Frostglade, I want you to do a very quick check for me. Do a fortitude body.
Roger that.
On a 5-1.
I think it's pronounced Batty. Yeah, Batty is a Wonderland.
Oh, sorry, Bodhi.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Also, we're gonna need some lozenges. I think.
Oh, quite possibly.
Yeah, I was gonna say 2 people just croaking at each other.
Yeah. Do a 5.
I've got 1.
5. Okay, cool. So you feel this gas, touch your little branchlets and kind of wick across your oaken skin, and it burns you. You notice that the other 3 with you, right now it doesn't seem like it's affecting them too much. It affects your foliage pretty excessively. You also notice that as you're looking up at this tree lord, it's almost like its skin is had been like wrinkled and hardened as to where it would normally be pristine. So it's almost like it's been burned over time. And, as it's standing in this, it's getting kind of like singed quite lightly. And sorry, just to recap for me what you had said before.
Oh, essentially, we're your friends. Please don't kill Okri. And then lastly, he would say,
may we speak with you in peace.
You notice that this tree lord kind of shudders in rage and anger, and do a guile mind.
Oh, good thing I did nothing but train in that from the dawn of time.
And it's so I was going to say it's going to be disadvantaged because he's seeing there is a Kharadron here, but you also get advantage because you are a Sylvanas with the party, so those will cancel each other out. So it's just going to be on 4s, and we'll just do an oppose.
So this Sylvanas is very confused about,
jeez,
about what's going on.
I got 3 4s on the dice.
Okay, and it got 2 5s, so you just eke out ahead.
Jeez.
With not a lot of grace and care, Okri, you're basically dropped into the water, and you kind of go cartwheeling into the drink. Yeah,
yeah. Just
I know the water's not deep, but even so, do I know if Okri's just going to flat out like die down there?
Okri, do an athletics body.
Oh boy,
yeah,
a Bodhi.
Doesn't he have like a thing that like?
I got a 6 and 2 4s.
Boom.
Okay, you're good.
Okay, cool.
He can just breathe, right?
I shred water. Oh.
Yeah. I think you kind of grab onto the side of the Pentagon.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the name of our boat now? Our
little dinghy boat.
The Pentagon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cass reaches over and like grabs him and like helps him into the ship or the Pentagon again.
What is your name?
You can kind of tell like the tree lord looks very impassively as Okri struggles, and you get the impression there's a slight sense of joy in watching you struggle, Okri.
I am Citros Splintersbane. This is the Driftwood Glade.
That is rad. And I'm going to get those notes from you in the near future so I don't type loudly into the mic. His name was it Seedroth?
Citros. And fun fact, Citros is named for one of our big boss patrons, which is CT Ross.
Hey!
Thank you for
That's a really good fantasy giant tree name, in my opinion, as well.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Citros. The gas, it burns me. I see it burns you. Can we speak further in your glade?
Yeah, so Citros will kind of nod and point and kind of pause and says,
Can you swim? I can, but I'm not sure about the Dwarden. What about our boat? We can leave it here and come back later.
This is getting into Dr. Claw territory.
Do you have any rope?
I got some rope.
Look, I brought the rope.
Hey!
Okay, that's more than that's awesome. Great.
Mhm.
I just nod.
I think maybe Cass might like have a small sidebar with Phallus and be like, not too long ago, did we not learn that your old ship was carrying a hefty amount of defoilant?
I didn't know what defoilant mean, but
It defoils things.
I love
like
that you
trees
pronounced it just like not even the grammar of the sentence was just like me not know.
It's great.
Defoilant is famous for its ability to defoil trees and take away the
Foliage.
leafiness. It's it kills trees foliage. To be quite
Right.
frank,
makes
Oh.
sense.
Well,
So I just want to correct it now. It's defoliant, not defoilant. Just as a heads up.
it's defoilant for me.
back in Gulch when
Listen
we're
here,
not
honey,
shooting
back in
things and
Gulch.
having babies, we're fighting defoliants. So Dave, many appreciations for you, hinting at that. Oh, I would say 3 to 4 to 5 times last session. Way over our heads. Thanks for nothing.
Nice.
No, it's a good point though, Franco.
I just wanted
Yeah.
to give a nod to Dave for
I didn't even make that connection.
For
Yeah, no, that's
continuity.
excellent. If I had pocket points, I would give them to you. I spritz some Meiji in your face. Psst.
You know what? Franco, take a free medal.
Boom!
Whoa!
One-time medal. Yeah.
Oh,
Dang.
cool. Thanks, man.
Hey, Questers, it's your DM Dave here. Thank you so much for tuning in to listen to our Age of Sigmar Soulbound RPG cast, where we're going to be playing through adventures in the Mortal Realms. I wanted to give a quick production update on the show and why we didn't put one out last week. You might be aware that we've been putting out episodes weekly for the last while, about almost a year now, it feels like. And it's been incredibly challenging to do that on top of working and, general 2021 challenges, I'll just say. So wanted to give a very special shout out and thank you to Nico. He's actually stepped up to start editing the show and give me a little bit of a break to recharge, also put more time and thought into where the story is going to be going and the kind of scenarios that we're going to be dealing with in the future. So that's super helpful. We're also going to, for the short term, take a step back and go to bi-weekly. So we're going to be putting out episodes every other week rather than weekly. This is hopefully, going to be temporary. We'd like to get back to weekly eventually, but, as I was saying, in order to take an RPG session and edit it down to something that we feel is a lot more listenable, it does take a lot of work. And that's anything from like cutting out slow periods to adding in music, sound effects, making the audio actually sound good to listen to. It takes a lot. So I think for right now, we didn't want to just put out raw recordings. We wanted to make sure that everything's nice to listen to. So that means we're going to have to go to every other week for right now. Want to also say thank you everybody to the support we've received. We have a super awesome community. I'm really thankful to have all of you. If you're not connected right now, if you want to join us, you can head over to goquestward.com and jump onto our Discord. There's going to be a link in the top bar. There you can chat with people about the show, talk about whatever games you're playing, things you're painting, all that good stuff. It's a great community. You can find them at www.goquestward.com, and you can also follow us on Twitter at goquestward. If you're interested in helping to support the show, you can consider dropping us a few drops of Aqua Uranus at patreon.com/questward. And please help us out with a review on Apple Podcasts, which will help to persuade new people to pick up the show. I also wanted to give a special shout out to our newest patrons, Jamie Eden, Nilo Franska, Ben Murphy, and James Kavanaugh, and our big boss patrons, Nolan LaRock, Rusty, Gabriel Walton, CT Ross, River Kim, and Bongalonga Dong. Thank you, everybody. I also wanted to mention a special shout out to Big Boss patron CT Ross, who has now been honored as a giant tree man named Citros. So if you're wanting to get some kind of name or some kind of inspired character into the show, we're going to try and do that for all our Big Boss patrons. We did Rusty a few episodes ago, who is the friendly and bad at lying ogre bartender on Gromerstown. So if you're interested in that, can check that out. Yeah, and all those patrons help us, grow the show to a point where we can expand. Thank you, everybody, and let's corral ourselves back to the episode. Next episode is set to go live on June 9th. Cheers, and thank you very much. So in a flash, in a moment, you feel that you use the rope. Everybody kind of like ropes together.
My long-term goals sorted.
10 XP.
Yeah. And in a flash, Citros, pulls you along with him underneath the waves, down along the sandy embankments along the bottom of this. And I want all of you to do a very quick check to reflect how well you're going to be able to stand up to this. Do a fortitude body, 6-1.
Ooh, fortitude body.
We can do it.
We got it.
1. Yep, I got 1.
Almost didn't get it.
I need a 6.
I got a 5.
I got a 6 and 2 5s, baby.
Woo!
Nice.
Okay.
And the man of the
Cast.
sea.
So I think Okri, just based on now, you can breathe through. Like basically,
I don't think I can breathe underwater. I'm gonna go out and say it. I can't breathe underwater. The suit is not pressurized.
Okay.
And I cannot breathe underwater.
Okay, cool.
Because that would be too easy.
Okri, so you're getting pulled along down these kind of underwater paths. At the base of this lagoon, you notice that it kind of opens up into like this webway of underwater tunnels. And at one point, as you're going through, your suit kind of just fills up with water, and you just feel like you're in this like waterlogged coffin, and you just feel like completely terrified. You are going to get disadvantage on basically like checks revolving, being in the ocean or underwater.
Okay, yeah, sure.
That's just like a trait you're going to carry with you. If you want to try and like deal with it, we can totally do that, and we'll figure it out as we go. But you all come up into the inside of this glade. You basically span underneath the barrier, making it in underneath, and Citros pulls you out onto the lush carpet. Basically, you're standing inside of these giant anemones. You're getting like these little kind of like wispy little fronds that kind of like go back and forth. You can kind of imagine this is like a coral forest. It's lush and brittle at the same time, and you actually feel like tension in here as soon as you arrive. Especially Okri, as you kind of land on your knees and
sputter
like
my way through.
Yeah,
he takes off his helmet. A little fish comes out.
No, spit out the fish. Come on.
And Frostglade, from being in here, how long do you think it's been since you've been in a glade before?
Months, absolutely, maybe even years.
Yeah. So this is kind of like, coming home for a bit of an odd Thanksgiving dinner, as you see all of these Sylvanas kind of emerge and kind of like watch you with quite severe apprehension. All of these Sylvanas in this glade are of similar appearance, where they are adapted to living in the oceans, so they're primarily like kind of coral looking. And you actually notice that the majority of them, not all of them, but the majority of them have the similar kinds of burns that you saw in Citros. And there's a particularly aggressive-looking, set of dryads that would be moving towards Okri if not being stopped immediately by Citros. And Citros kind of looks back at you and.
This is what your kind has wrought upon us. For their greed.
I'm still sputtering. Still like on my knees, like.
He's referring to their sort of state. That they're all. Got it.
My lord, can you tell us when this started? What is happening? And maybe we can talk about what comes next. These ships arrived only weeks prior, in force. Initially, they came down and began to batter us with their cannons. We formed the shields, and then they came with this new vicious breath of malice. And since they established this new fortification, we have not been able to lay an assault upon them.
How long can we last down here?
I'm just gonna actually get another drink of water.
Wet the pipes a bit, yeah.
I'll get you.
Days.
He says just resolutely.
And at night, what happens? Could we attack them then?
Our forces are not able to contend with their flying ships. If we approach and try to assault the generators, they can. They will assault us from the air. We can do nothing to combat them.
Oh, wonderful! No, this is putting puzzle pieces together that I actually hadn't yet. So the mist, the death fog for the Sylvaneth anyway, it's coming from the ground-bound refinery platform location.
Correct.
Oh, rad! Well, at the very least, we don't have to try to fucking fly up there somehow or something crazy. Okay, well that's something. I'm gonna drink some tea.
So you need a strike team to take out the generators, so then you can attack the flagship.
I'm getting heavy Star Wars vibes.
in the best way.
Yeah.
All right. So we can last days. At night, do these? I'm just kind of out of the, kind of stop sputtering eventually. Just do they pump the gas during the night as well?
All day, all night. Does not cease. The sea elves came and then gave them a gift of poison gas.
The what king?
The dark corsairs.
Yeah.
Oh, right. That's the other puzzle piece. Oh man, it's all connected.
Yeah, it's pretty standard. This is from Amagard, isn't it? It's what they use in their outside of the jungles, I've heard.
I'm not sure your familiarity with this and explaining it to them is gonna, make them happier about it.
Oh, absolutely.
Frost steps forward
He's putting his foot in his mouth
and points at Okri and says,
This one is an enemy to those above, sworn for his life. Please do not harm him.
And he's directing that not so much at Citros, because Citros is, we've already had that talk. The Dryads and anyone else who's eyeing Okri as a snack this day.
Mm-hmm. As you say that, you're not going to have to roll for it as Citros, reaffirms your statement. Yeah.
That's rad. This is fun. We've got to take out the refinery.
All right.
I assume nighttime would be a good time to go. We don't have a dinghy anymore.
Can you take us under the waves at night and put us at the refinery? And we can handle the rest, Citros.
Can you do an intuition mind for me?
Oh, I'm so good at those, Dave. I mean, you just keep handing me these gifts.
Just get a 5.
How do 2 4s and a 3 grab you?
Not.
Hey.
Wait, how does this game work? Okay. I did my best.
Okay. Citros pauses for a moment and nods and says,
Yes, of course. If you can take out these generators, I will do everything in my power.
I say we trust them.
That does sound like a good plan. Just out of curiosity, Dave, because I wasn't really looking at the fog as being essentially it's going to kill me. If we're carried under the waves and then deposited near the refinery, is that going to guarantee that I'm just like walking through a hazard? Or maybe there's information you can't even give us?
Maybe you just take a damage per turn.
Okri.
Yeah.
Yes. And actually, maybe Phallus, if it's relevant. You could do a lore mind.
Oh, I'm decent at those.
Get a 6.
That's awesome. I'm not rolling, I assume, but I might put this question to these guys, right? Because they know about it.
I did get a 6.
Okay.
I won't bother rolling then.
Well, Phallus, you'd get different information.
Oh, okay.
So
all right, then I'll roll. I got 2 6s.
Ooh, oh my.
Think you're better than me? Nice.
Better than me?
Huh? What? I pulled my gun.
So, Okri, your aether chemistry,
Yay.
you actually can kind of suss out a few things based on what you're learning. So you know that the closer you're going to get to the source, the more potent it's going to be.
Right.
And based on, just the fact that, it's currently like wiping out vegetation outside of this sphere. And Frostglade is, very much a plant-based creature.
Not quite sure where you're getting that from, Dave, but okay.
For a mechanical effect, what we're going to say is it's going to be, depending on where you are, he's going to get a step higher of a hazard if he goes near the generators.
Right.
Roger.
Yeah.
I relay the information.
Yeah. And then, Phallus, based on your, Corsair experience, I just wanted to give you a little bit of extra, what you've been hearing about. That the Shordan, because keying off of what Okri had said before about Anvilgard, that the Shordan was part of what is known as the Black Scale Coil in Anvilgard, which is kind of this secret shadow council.
This is not what was promised us. What's going on that boat?
Frostglade would just say,
It is worth the risk.
If you say so, you're the one who's gonna melt.
Wait, I'm gonna melt. No, move on.
Back on the boat.
Have you tried peeing on a rag?
And all over you, just smother your body.
Well, it's true. You may be in some grave danger if you get close, but I'm curious. This sort of defoilant.
Nice.
I hate it.
It seems
your XP are draining away as we speak, Cass. I don't know why.
You know that medal you got?
Where did it go? It seems to work on contact. Now, I presume that perhaps if it weren't able to contact you, that you'd be just fine. Back in Gulch, we
we all just like even the new folks, the new Savannah are all like, here we go.
we have ourselves a yearly pig wrestling contest, and as you know, pigs are akin to mud. And you oftentimes come out of that covered in mud, and it seems to me as if perhaps we replicated that with you. I mean, we don't have a pig around for you to wrestle, but we could make do, Okri.
Phallus puts a hand on Cass's shoulder and says, I don't see how this is relevant.
Well, I just wanted to recount this touching tale about pig wrestling. No, I'm just hypothesizing that perhaps if we were able to cover you with some sort of earthy substance, that perhaps he would be a bit better protected against this.
Are we gonna predator Frostglade?
I believe that we should predator Frostglade.
Nice. That's not a bad idea, actually.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
So I'm in my head, so I'm seeing this kind of refinery, and I assume that it's maybe an Aether Gold refinery, or something else. I don't know. It is situated on this island, this atoll, and around it, kind of acting as defenses, are all of these gunships. And then, where is this defoliant coming from?
The refinery, right?
It's the same structure.
Okay.
You also can, infer that they haven't gotten at the Aether Gold yet.
They're still making the refinery kind of thing?
Well, so what was implied from what the True Lord was saying before was they're trying to get access to it. I guess we didn't necessarily explicitly say that, but
Ross, we're here to help, and we're going to do our finest to make sure that your people are safe. We're going to do our best to get rid of this poison, this miasma that is weakening you, and we would appreciate it quite highly if you would back us up once we address this problem.
So as you say that, Citros, is looking like all the way down at you. Like this is a giant looking down at a human, right? And then after a moment, you see Citros like kind of go down to one knee and kind of like look towards you, Iron Giant, kind of like leaning in style, and says,
"If you can free my people, we will ensure these Dwarden are scoured from this entire realm."
Well, maybe that's going a step too far, but
yeah, we're all just kind of like,
boy, that escalated quickly.
I like the energy.
Frostglade is going to look around the Sylvaneth here and seeing their wounds. I'm going to assume that AG isn't necessarily going to do much, but regardless, I do want to offer a sphere to my people.
Sure. You look around and you see amongst this crew, you see a branch witch who is particularly frail looking. You can tell that she is currently maintaining the barrier around us. And you notice that as you're looking around to try and maintain some sense of peace and medicine and everything, you notice that her arms are kind of like straining and cracking as they are expelling so much of this magic.
Oh my god.
Put some water on it.
Yeah, so Frostglade keys in on her, approaches her with the sphere, and says,
Matriarch, can I help you?
All right, so as you go to apply the Aquagranus, like I'm assuming you kind of like apply it like as almost like a mist. As you spray it on. And you notice that her arms cease their quaking, and she's able to maintain the aura with greater efficiency and comfort. And she looks at you and says, "Thank you. What glade are you from?"
No glade. I lived among the Heartwood for a time. Now I am soulbound with these others you see here.
and then he trails off kind of sadly, because what's left unsaid is that I can't hear the spirit song.
She pauses and kind of like looks at you and says, "Are you ever planning to return to us?"
So Frostglade looks fairly wide-eyed.
I don't know.
And she pauses and kind of like touches you with these long fingers and says, "Life is a cycle. There's always a way back."
I will think on it. Thank you.
She goes back to maintain the barrier.
Are we doing any other prep before Citros comes back and drags us through the murk?
I imagine like we would kind of try to query people about the actual physics or the physical geography of the area that we're about to go to, asking where things might be, kind of what sort of observations any of the Sylvaneth might have made, where
Sure.
are we trying to go to, and what are the dangers, and where maybe are there patrols?
Do group guile on 4s, and just tell me how many you get total.
Okay.
And that'll affect a few things.
Group guile?
Group guile.
Group guile.
Mind guile, it has to be, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Body guile. We're seducing them.
Please, won't you tell me some information?
One from Frostglade.
I'll do anything. We're looking for 4s?
Yeah.
Okay, 3.
And 2.
1.
Actually, I should mention, Frostglade, you have advantage. And Okri, you have disadvantage.
2.
So I got 2, 3, 2, 1. Is that right?
Sounds
2,
right.
3. Yeah, that's right.
Okay. So
8.
you get, let's see what I can tell you. We'll say that they can give you a little bit of an idea on previous assaults that they have tried. Now, they had made more progress before the mists came, and then they were basically like, it would be suicide missions for them to kind of go out there, so they've ceased. They do know that there is a crew of about 4 to 6 Dwarden that man that refinery at any given time. Amongst them, they said they didn't really give you too close of information, but they say amongst that group is some kind of leader that is able to control the winds. That's all they are able to tell you.
Oh, neat.
Then they also say that you got 8. No one can juice that in any way? Okay.
I gave out a whole sphere earlier.
That's true. Yeah. Okay, cool. You give that out to a particularly young-looking dryad, and they mention that of the 2 ships on that platform, they've only ever seen one of the 2 fly.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Here's the plan. We're gonna, under the cover of night, approach to the beachhead. From there, we're going to cover Frostglade in mud to protect him against this defoiling. From there, we're going to approach silently. We're going to take out the guards. We're going to find out where that wind mage is. We're going to take them out. From there, we're going to take up one of those small frigates that are landed at the refinery. We're going to silently and inconspicuously approach one of the larger ships. We're going to board, we're going to take control, and we're going to disable their ability to bombard our Sylvana. At that point, with the Sylvana they're going to attack. They're going to take over the refinery, and they're going to disable it completely.
As long as the refinery is destroyed and the defoliant is taken care of, that is all I care about.
It sounds good with me.
And at that point, I assume that we will have broken their morale, that all the other Dwarven are just going to leave. Easy peasy.
Lemon squeezy. Let's do this.